coming Thursday and the next Sunday away to Greece. So the squad was announced there during the week, 2 days ago. So we'll just have a quick look at the squad first, and then we'll preview the game. So this is the first squad that the new manager, Heimer, has picked on his own. The last month he was allowing John O'Shea to do it. So this is his squad. These are his players. So we look at that. So the goalkeepers, no change there. With Bazuna out injured, it's the same three goalkeepers. Just a quick word before we move on to the defenders.
Yeah, same three goalkeepers. No real surprise there, Paul, to be quite honest. As you mentioned there yourself, Gavin Bazuna, Southampton, he's out injured. He's out injured for the season, by the looks of it. And there's no real surprise. Nothing. Kelleher hasn't done anything wrong. Obviously, the worry for us that he's not starting to look. But no, Allison, it looks like he could be injured for a couple of games after the international break. So at club level, he will be getting a few more games, so that's good for us. But just getting back to this camp, yeah, Kelleher did very well against England. I don't think he could do much with the 2 goals. He kept us in the game, kept us down to 2-0. And to be honest, I don't think he could do well. Maybe the first goal against Greece, maybe people say he could have done better. I don't think he could really do much. And second goal, he had no real chances to keep it. The player was really pretty much in on him. So yeah, he's done nothing wrong. He's done a very good goalkeeper. The only trouble that we have at the moment, Paul, is that he's not playing at club level week in, week out. But he's done nothing wrong. He's doing very well for Ireland. So yeah, first 3 goalkeepers, no change, and that's fair enough.
Yeah. Now into the defenders. Defenders there, the big name that I don't recognise, a new name, new face, is Mark McGuinness, and it seems that he is coming to the squad to replace Jacob Ryan, who just joined Everton this year. So the rest of them and this Festy fella, if he's all right, is back in the squad again. But this Mark McGuinness is the new name there. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Paul, when I first saw the squad being announced, I saw Mark McGuinness. I honestly, to God, didn't know much about him. I know now from looking up on him. He plays for Luton Town. He used to play for Cardiff City. He qualifies to play for Ireland through, I think, a grandparent, perhaps, I think it was in Derry. So I think he has played underage for Ireland as well. So yeah, Mark McGuinness, he seems to be, from what I read about him, he seems to be a good ball playing centre half, good player. Has just started his career at Luton, as I just said, 23 years of age, I believe. So yeah, a good addition to the squad. Hopefully, he gets some minutes to see how. Because Heimer has said that he wants to have a look at players, and this is the time. This is probably the time to. These ain't World Cup qualifiers. There are nations things to do affect our seeding, but with England in the group, I don't think there's any hope of us getting promoted. The main issue we have is trying to avoid relegation and possibly get second. But excuse me. But yeah, I suppose the other big name in terms of he's always a familiar person in the squad is Matt Doherty. I saw people were mentioning about, and I think if you look through the defenders there, Paul, he's right back. Festy, I think I apologize if I pronounced his name wrong. He used to play at Udinese. He's now playing at Watford. He's a good right back, a good pace, strong man as well. So we have an option at right back. Obviously, Seamus Coleman is injured. Matt Doherty has been, for what a better word, dropped. And I think, Paul, to be fair, I know he's
rightly so, no. In my opinion, Doherty's legs are gone, and if your legs are gone, your legs are gone, and you have to just put them loose. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, Paul, because he hasn't played well for Ireland for a long time now. I'm not having to go at him, but there's a lot of players that haven't played well for Ireland for a long time. But he's one that sticks out. I think the criticism he got for the Greece goal is any defender can make a mistake, but they're not tracking the attacker for Greece in the second goal was criminal. And the reason why people got on his back was because he was a substitute. He was only on the pitch for about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. And for an experienced player, he was called out even on the pundits and everything. They said he should be tracking back. If he showed a bit more effort, by the time the attacker kicked the ball, he could have got a block in if he put more effort in. That's not our words. That's people who played the game as well as words. So he has been severely criticised. He hasn't played well for Wolves either, Paul. He's getting a lot of criticism of Wolves either. His form has been poor. His form in the last couple of years has been poor ever since he left Tottenham. Even I know he played for Atletico Madrid, where he played 2 games there. So he's playing for a Wolves side are down at the very bottom, Paul. The confidence is very low. He obviously wants to play for Ireland. That's good, but Heimer said that he wants to have a look at players and he wants to get a settled squad.
Yeah. Noel, I want to come in, Noel. There's a player there called Andrew Amadeli. He's at Nottingham Forest, but he's not getting games and he won't get games. the last 2 years, Nottingham Forest were very poor at the defence. But in the summer, they bought a player from Serbia, and I won't even attempt to pronounce his name. But he's a good old-fashioned centre half.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, this season Nottingham Forest have a settled centre back partnership. He has knitted the whole team together. The defence has improved, and unless there's injuries, Abadeli will not get a game at Forest because they were beaten in the League Cup, maybe in the FA Cup in January. But unless there's injuries, he won't get games. And the fella who was dropped, let out, Jacob Ryan, who joined Everton from Lyon, to me now, looking back at it, maybe in terms of money, it was a great move, but in terms of developing his game, it was a disastrous move. Because number one, Everton are having a terrible season. They can't defend to save their lives. He's not even playing regularly. But Lyon are playing in the Europa League. He was a regular with Lyon. If he had stayed at Lyon for another year, he would develop his game. Now, obviously, he's getting well paid at Everton, but he's not even getting regular games, and Everton are in a real bad show. So, just your quick thoughts on them two young players that they're not getting regular games, even though they're in Premiership clubs.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Paul that they're just not getting games. I remember Delhi. They didn't even get looking really until January or after. I think it was after Steve Cooper was sacked and Nuno brought him in. I think he brought him in around for a cup game against Blackpool, if I'm not mistaken. Played well, and he stayed inside pretty much from there on. But at the start of this season, Paul, you're correct. You know yourself, you're a Forest fan. He's not getting any game time at all. But maybe
I think he played a League Cup game against Newcastle, but no league match.
No league match, and that's the bread and butter, Paul. That's week in, week out.
Yeah.
And I think they went out of the League Cup as well, so he's not going to game in the League Cup again either. Yeah. So unless there's injuries, he won't get a look in, and that's and I know. I think if I'm not mistaken, Abadeli cost about something like 20 million or maybe a bit less. So, like I remember people saying about our defense where we're leaking goals and how much the transfer fees they went for. Nathan Collins, for example, he scored a good goal actually inside the first 2 minutes at home to Wolves. He's always good for a goal from either set piece, whatever. You can get his head on it. Nathan Collins, I think, has his transfer fees are very high. Darragh Shea, he went for a bit of money. There's other. I remember Daly said it's cost 20 million. So it's actually a comment made that the back four could nearly cost 100 million between them all. But you know yourself, Paul, the transfer prices in England are inflated big time.
There's no correlation to quality, in my opinion.
Yeah. As well. No, that's what I mean. Like people might talk about the transfer fees, but look, the English game in terms of transfer fees compared to the rest of Europe, maybe not Spain and Italy, but other and Spain and Germany.
Sorry, no, just cut off the point. But a quick word on Jacob Ryan moving from Lyon when he was a regular starter and playing really well, going to Everton, which are in an absolute bottom of the table, and he's not even getting full games now, and he's now dropped up from the squad.
Yeah, Paul, I think they've got about like something like 4 or 5 points. I think they won one game. I think that was away at home to Crystal Palace last week. They drew at home to Newcastle. Probably looking up the Newcastle missed the penalty. So yeah, they're not going forward at all. Like they haven't played too bad some games, but they've lost. But they're not getting points on the board. And for Sean Dyche's side, they're leaking goals, and it's even more worrying, Paul, that they are leaking goals, and he still can't get a look in. So look, I do think in time he will eventually get in there, but you say you're right. There could be, if there's injuries, he probably won't get a look in as early as he would like. When you spend that amount of money, Paul, surely the team. I mean, Sean Dyche must be thinking he spent that much money on a player he would want to play him. But at the moment, whether it's I don't know, it's tactics, whether it's fitness or whatever, I don't think there's any fitness problems, to be honest with you. He's just not getting a look in, Paul, and that is worrying for transfer fee that he was paid for. That's more on Everton's side now than us. Yeah. But yeah, it is a pity because I do think he's a good defender.
Yeah. Now we want to the midfielders, and the two names that stand out there is this Finn Azaz. I believe he plays with Middlesbrough. And Jack Taylor, I'm not sure who he plays with. They're two young players. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, Finn Azaz, I think I'm looking with John O'Shea's time. I think he played against Switzerland at home, the one they lost. He's good. He's a good player, a bit of a winger. And Jack Taylor plays with Ipswich Town. He's a good ball playing midfielder. I think hopefully he could be something that we're missing. He can link up the player well, and he seems to be a good young. He seems to be a very good young player. And Josh Cullen is back in the squad. He was injured in the last camp. He's had about 2 or 3 games now since he came back. So he's fit again and he's back in the squad. Jason Isons, Jamie McGrath is back in the squad as well. He wasn't in the last camp. Still playing for Aberdeen. Good player, I think. Anytime I see him, he seems to be at a higher level than what this is in Scotland. That's no disrespect to Scotland, it's Aberdeen, but you think he'd be playing maybe a higher level. I do think he could be a good player. So yeah, bit more creative, not much. Paul, Will Smallbone is out. He's out injured at Southampton. I think he got man of the match against Greece, but
Yeah, the list said about that's better in my opinion.
They said about that, about the opinion. They said about that is better. But look, yeah, a few chances in midfield. Hopefully, Jack Taylor can get a few minutes. I'd like to see how he could compare with the Irish team. He's a good player for Ipswich when they got promoted. Jason Malumbi, he's a workhorse. He'll run all day for you. But we just need a little bit extra quality, Paul, in the ball midfield. That's where we're lacking big time. But hopefully, with Jack Taylor in there and Finn as we can at least create a little bit more than what we have done. I know we're away from home. I know it's going to be games where we're probably going to have less of the ball, but when we have it, I do hope we can create something.
Yeah. Now we look at the forwards, Noel, and it's now this Casey McIntyre wasn't named in midfield, but he's now in the forwards. To me, it looks that's what you have. I don't know if Ferguson fit as he played with Brighton. I'm not sure as he played with Brighton, but you have to try and ease him back in. Try Parrott. He had a kind of slow start to the season, but once he started scoring goals for AZ Alkmaar, he's scoring for fun. Now I know that probably the Dutch league is not probably the greatest. Let's be honest about it. We'll say, but he's also playing in Europe. He's got a goal there in European games. So I hope he gets game time now. He has to play him, and just the other two lads there.
Yeah, Paul. Look, when you think of it, Alameda is probably a bit of confidence now. Playing Celtic got a Champions League goal there since the last camp. At the start of the season, obviously Celtic made that move permanent, so he's settled there now. Evan Ferguson coming back from injury. Brighton have a good forward line. Paul. I know Danny Welbeck is leading it, but he's shoving on now. But he's still getting goals. He's still playing very well for Brighton. He got the winner against Spurs yesterday. So Evan Ferguson's going to have to work hard to get back into that starting lineup, and he has to make more of an impact off the bench. And he does come on. Troy Parrott, you correctly said, the Dutch league probably wouldn't be the strongest, but he's a player in form, Paul, and it all depends now whether they trust him to start this game against Finland, because on form he probably does deserve to start it. But Troy Parrott sometimes when he makes a step up from club to international football, he doesn't look the most confident. He's missed a few big chances. The way game against Scotland in the Nations League, it was clear 1-on-1. He just straight the keeper, and even the goal he got, the last international goal he got against Hungary, didn't take it very convincingly. It was a very lucky goal that he got. I mean, he was 1-on-1 with the keeper. He had so many options. Normally, when you bear down a goal on a keeper, you've got the advantage, and didn't hit it very well. Very lucky goal in the end. So it'd be interesting to see if he does start. Probably won't. I don't think it'd be right though if he doesn't start, because I don't think Evan Ferguson has got 90 minutes in him. So if I was looking, I'd either start Alameda or try Parrott. Sammy Smodics, he got that move to Ipswich Town, but Liam Delap now seems to be the main man for Ipswich Town at the moment. He's starting up front.
And sorry for cutting across you. He's the son of Rory, the left Irish player, but I've been told he can't play for Ireland because he was playing the English under-21 team as an overage player, and once he played a couple of games, he can't play for Ireland, even if he wanted to. Just mention that.
I don't know if I'm open to correction on this, but I think they have to wait. The rule is he has to wait now a year or two before he can declare for Ireland. He hasn't declared for Ireland anyway.
Yeah,
is the main thing. But I think there's some rule that I don't know exactly the whole rings. The whole.
The most important thing is that Sammy Smodics is playing for Ipswich. How is he getting on this year? Look, Ipswich are going to struggle all year long. He played finished 17th, so he's not going to get the chances he got at Blackburn last year. But just a quick one before we preview the matches. Just how do you think he's doing?
He's doing okay, probably since the last international campaign. He's probably not been getting as many minutes as you would like. He scored against his first Premier League goal away to Man City, but then Man City hammered him 4-1 in the end. I think the last couple of games he'll be feeling. I think even in the game against Aston Villa last weekend, he came on very late in the game, so I do think they're probably. I think Liam Delap got the 2 goals in that game, and he scored against West Ham last Saturday. So it does seem that Liam Delap is probably their number 1 man at the moment, and Sammy Smodics, whether they can fit in around play as a number 10, or I don't think Sammy Smodics would be suitable on the wings, to be quite honest with you. I think he's more better, in around the box.